Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Hey guys, today we're talking about chaining. I know probably the majority of our fleet across the board knows how to chain. And for you guys, this film wasn't intended, obviously. But for those of you who haven't run the mountains or had to deal with chains much, we're going to go through that today. We're just headed over to a lot here where we can film it. The biggest thing to remember about chaining is it's just like backing up. You got to set it up right. If you don't set it up right, you're going to have problems. And what I mean by that is you're going to have to roll the vehicle forward. Remember, you're 70 feet long. So if when you pull into an area to chain up and you're right up against somebody, you're going to have a serious issue. You're not going to be able to roll onto your iron, and I'll explain more about that when we get to where we're going. So if you're watching this for just a refresher, great. If you don't know how to chain, I hope that will solve that problem. In either event, hopefully this will be a good short film on how to chain, and we'll get right to it. Alright guys, this is a great place to start. Here, I grabbed a truck from the yard. It's 103. I didn't really look at the chain box until I got over here to where we're going to film, and I made a critical error. This chain box is held down by a 9/16 bolt. If I didn't have tools on me, I wouldn't get my chains out. And you don't want to learn that problem at 2 in the morning when you're sitting on the side of a mountain. So make sure and look your equipment over. Know how your chains are secured to the vehicle. You don't want to have this problem on the hill. So if you don't carry tools, I'm assuming most of you carry some sort of rudimentary tools, but if you don't, make sure the shop takes this bolt off so you can get into your binder box. Obviously that's going to be an issue. The other thing that guys won't take the time to do when the weather's nice like it is now is they won't take the time to take the chains out and check the count and condition. That's another huge problem. So take the time when it's nice like today. Lay your chains out, make sure you have no broken links, make sure you got the right count and condition, and life will be a lot smoother. Alright guys, so here we've got a single laid out. As I said earlier, the biggest thing about chaining is to know the setup. You got to understand how this iron is supposed to work, and if you don't know, the best time to do it is to lay it out on a nice day and figure it out. You can see this chain has never been run, so the condition should be right. And there is absolutely a wrong and a right way to put it to hang a chain. Okay? Your binders, these things that can be tightened once we get the chain hung, have got to be on the outside of the wheel. Any other position, if you put it on the inside, it's not going to work. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get to it. The other big mistake that drivers make when chaining up is they lay them upside down. So in other words, this is going to bite into the sidewall of the tire, and I'll show you that in just a minute when we lay it on the rubber. But these particular connectors, the sharp part has got to be up. If the sharp part is down towards the tire, you're going to cut the sidewall of the tire, and then you're going to have a real problem. I've never destroyed a tire doing that, but I have made the mistake and have damaged sidewalls, which if you get a DOT cop and he sees that, he could give you at least a warning for defective equipment, okay? So this particular chain, if I was going to drape it onto the truck from right here, is set up properly. My cams are going to be on the outside. My connectors, the sharp part is up, and now all I should have to do is drape it onto the tire. Now, I'm going to assume that your common sense is going to tell you if you lay out your iron and you've got broken links, you've got broken cams, you've got bent connectors, obviously that's a chain that needs to go back to the shop. So check out all this stuff. Make sure you don't have broken cams, broken links, bent connector chains or whatever. All that stuff is critically important, and it's the right time to do it right now when it's not a major deal. Okay? Let's hang the chain. Alright, so you've got your chains laid out. Now it's time to hang the iron. You're going to have to roll onto the iron, so it's important that we hang all the iron on the truck in the exact same manner. So in other words, you have the same positioning, so when you roll the entire rig forward, you're looking at the same situation on each wheel as far as where the chains are. Okay? So I'm just going to pick this up. And throw it on. Now for me personally, what I like to do is right there. Basically, you can have your own preferences, but I like to just have my connectors just touching on the ground, and I'm nice and even. My cams are on the outside, and now I go around and put iron on the rest of the vehicle in this exact same position. This end forward and about the same distance to the ground. So from here, all I'm going to do is do the rest of my chain positions, get back to the vehicle, roll it forward just enough, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Alright, so I obviously just moved the vehicle ahead approximately, I don't know, a foot and a half, just enough to get my tails past the end of the tire here, which will allow me to hook it up. So I just get up here onto my hook, obviously put it as tight as I can, and connect the ends up together. Okay? So now we're looking pretty good. At this point, what I want to do is use my cams, okay? So we're going to go ahead and tighten up these cams with the tool. Make sure you have the tool. If you don't have the tool, you're not going to get your chains tight. Might as well sit at the truck stop, okay? So we just go around, tighten up the cams all the way around. Said than done. There we go. Okay. So, in most people's books, that would be a proper chain. The thing I'll tell you is I would not chain up without carrying some sort of bungee straps for a couple of reasons. Number one, I like my chains really tight. Number two, if they should come off, hopefully they're not going to tear up your trailer, your mud flap, or something else down the road. So invest in a few of these bungee cords. We normally give them out at the shop, but this tail right here, I'm gonna suck that in because that's gonna be flying around. If you know anything about centrifugal force, you'll know the problem there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that guy, and I'm gonna come down here, and I'm gonna grab it here, okay? The other thing is, when the cops see these on your truck, if chain law is up, they're gonna just wave you through. It's real easy to spot these, obviously, a lot easier than trying to see if you have iron on. So take the extra minute to go ahead and strap up your chains. It's a great safety precaution, and it'll also save you a few headaches. Okay. That's the basic process, guys. Nothing confusing about it. It obviously gets a lot harder when it's snowing, wet, dark, and there's trucks up and down the road. Make sure when you're getting ready to chain up, you leave enough space between you and the vehicle in front of you so you can roll up onto your chains. I've seen guys make that mistake and basically get cornered, and you need that extra space. The other thing I want to caution you about is, as you're doing this process, you're going to be in and out of the truck a lot, and I've done it myself. I've seen other guys do it. You're just in a big hurry, you got the blood flowing, and you forget to set the parking brake. I've seen trucks roll away when guys are chaining them. They just get in a big hurry and don't set the parking brake. So make sure you're setting the brakes each time you get in and out. Roll forward, roll back, whatever you got to do. That's my chaining video. Thanks for listening.